Hi, welcome back guys. So today I'm going to make a rhubarb and ginger crumble. So what you're going to need for this bottom bit is a large pan. Then you're going to need 1.5 kilograms of chopped rhubarb. Throw that in, or on the floor, got that one. There we go. Then I've got 200 ml, which is not a lot, of water, because it will produce liquid of its own. So I've got white caster sugar, and you're going to need 150 grams of this. Then I've got some soft light brown sugar, 100 grams of that, and then a half teaspoon of ginger. That's it. Sprinkle that in, and that's that. Now, let's just sort this out a little bit. Having problems with this today. Look a little bit, that's it. So I'm just going to turn the eye on, wrong one, every time. Right. I'm going to need Old Faithful. So just give this a mix up so everything's incorporated. Fruit, when you're cooking fruit, you want, especially for a crumble, you want some bits that have mushed down, but you also want to keep a little bit of bite in some of the fruit. Not in all of it, because it just wouldn't be a nice crumble then. But some of it can mush down and become soft, but you want some to retain its shape. And it's a bit like when you're making caramel. You blink and it's gone past the stage where you need it. So all this is going to do, that's all I'm going to do to it, literally, is keep it on my lowest setting, on simmer, and I'm going to come back about every 5 minutes until it gets to the point where I think that's it, it's done. And that's it. So all my husband's going to do now is speed this up for you, overlay a bit of music, and you will randomly see an arm popping in and stirring and whatnot, and then I'll show you what it is we're looking for once we get to that stage. Okay, see you in a few. So I'm going to turn the heat off now. Let me show you. So we've got some that are like that. This is soft. This is not soft at all. But what I tend to do, turn the heat off and allow it to cool naturally. And then the ones that are hard now stay in this hot syrup and just get a little bit softer to where you want them to be. So just poke them down, make sure they're in the syrup. You always get a mixture. There's some that are really, really well done. It's the same with apples. So yeah, I'm just going to take that off a minute. Leave that to cool down. That's not all going to go into one dish. I've got 2 dishes here. So one we'll use for tea and one we will use and put in the freezer. So I've only got to make it once. So let me grab my stuff and then we'll make the topping. Okay. Right guys, so I've got what I need in my mixer for my topping. So what you're going to need in here is 100, this is to cover both of those, not just one, this is to cover both of those crumbles. 170 grams, and I like to use cubed butter and put it in the freezer for maybe 20 minutes. But you can just use cold butter. 100 grams of light brown sugar, 50 grams of caster sugar, and 300 grams of plain flour. Now, all you need to do to this is just mix it enough that it resembles the butter pieces, so that it's all mixed and the butter pieces resemble just small peas, as though you've rubbed it together for scones. So you'll just put this on slowly. You don't need to go mad, and just keep your eye on it. And don't put it on pulse like I just did. So just watch it. It'll all start to come together. The thing is not to add any heat to it so that it retains some chunks of butter. That's it. Let me just double check it. See, I'm fiddling around the side because I'm working back to front here. Here's me tell you not to add any heat to it. I was just about to stick my hand in. So, just make sure all the flour is mixed in. Mixed in well. Like I say, try not to add any heat to this because you want your butter, some of it, to stay in little lumps. So I'm going to take that off because that was all that was needed. You can do this by hand, you do not need a mixer. I'm just lazy. So what you end up with is this type of texture here. You see some small, some bigger bits. Some is a bit powder. That's what you want. Basically like a scone mix before you add your liquid. One piece of advice, If you're going to freeze your crumble, then you can add this on and pop it straight into the freezer. That's absolutely fine. But if you're going to put your fruit in a bowl and then put this on top of it and leave it to stand until tea time, then you're not going. All that's going to happen is the butter's going to melt inside, and your crumble's going to be rubbish. Really, it'll just be sloppy. It won't be very good at all. So by all means, cook your fruit in the morning. As I'm doing now, I'm cooling mine. Leave this in the fridge. Not going to come to any harm in the fridge. Nothing makes any difference by putting it in the fridge. Just leave it in there, and when you come to put the crumble into the oven, then put the topping on. And for the freezer one, obviously allow your filling to cool. Pop it in a dish. Cover it with this. Wrap it really well to avoid frostbite, and pop it straight into your freezer, because that way it's still keeping the butter really cold. But just don't add this to the hot fruit and leave it for a few hours. It's just not going to be nice. So once this is done, as I say, I'm going to let the fruit cool. Once this is done, the fruit's cooled down, I'm going to drain out at least half. You can see the fruit on the side there. At least half of that liquid. I don't want all that liquid in there. All that's going to do again is make that soggy. And split it between the two dishes, then I'll do this as well. And I'll show you that part, and then I'll show you how nice it looks when it comes out. Okay guys, thank you. Alright guys, so I'm going to separate this now. I'm using a slotted spoon. And all I'm going to do is just pop it into these two dishes. I want some of the liquid but not all of it. If you get rid of all the liquid, it's going to be really dry at the bottom. Change my spoon. I'm just going to use this one because it has bigger slots to let the liquid out. That's better, because I've already got enough liquid really in the bowls. You could of course just stand this in a large strainer over a bowl, especially if you wanted the rhubarb syrup. You could cook that down until it's really concentrated, use it over ice cream, use it in cakes. I'm not going to do that. I've got enough in this one, and you can see the liquid around the edge. That's enough liquid that it'll stop it drying out. Now I'm just going to fill the one that I'm going to pop into the oven. Nearly done. That was perfect amount for them too. It's surprising how much all of that cooks down. That's it. Done. No more. So now my crumble topping. I'm just going to plop on top. You can serve this, traditionally it's custard, but I mean a lot of people like it with a scoop of ice cream or just some single cream. What else could you have this with, I guess? Sorry, I'm just trying to... So, that one there is the one that's going straight into the oven. Just rinse in my hand. And that is a traditional rhubarb crumble. So I'll pop it into the oven and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like when it comes out. Okay? Okay, so this is the end result with the rhubarb crumble. Should be crispy on top and soft underneath. Take a piece out. And there you go. Like I said before, you can serve it with ice cream, with cream, custard. There you go. Rhubarb crumble. Rhubarb and ginger crumble. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.